Hey everyone, it's Teresa with Crafty with Teresa. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, in today's video, we're actually continuing our paper pumpkin kit ideas, including alternatives. Taking a look at that second card design from the kit. Now we plan to continue our goal of getting as many cards as we can out of this kit. We'll look at ways to use the content already provided and a few items from our stash. And that way we can add a few more cards to our collection with very little extra work. Now, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at my last video, I've done the very same thing. I think these cards are just a bit different, especially with this busy background, but I don't know, you tell me. What do you think? Now, enough of my chatting. Let's get to crafting. Let's go ahead and get started back to that card design. We'll start with step number 1, which is basically inking up our stamp and putting it on the sentiment strip. Now remember, this card design we're doing here today is basically taken directly from the Paper Pumpkin Kit design that's provided in your kit. I like to do that because I want to show you just how easy it is to put them together, as well as they're great. But you know me, if you've been watching me, I like to change it up just a little bit. I put out this video because I wanted to make sure that for those crafters who might want to grab items from their stash, this will show you ways to do that. Now let's take a look at the die cuts that are in the kit. We're going to take all the die cuts. We're going to add some double-sided adhesive behind it, except for one. We'll take the rectangular die cut that has, I believe it's a brownish gold strips around it, and we'll add some double-sided tape to that as well. We'll go ahead and attach the rectangular piece because we know that's what we want as our base. Now I'll grab those herb die cuts and fidget until I decide where I want them to go. Now for the die cut that we held back, I believe it's the mint, we'll actually add some dimension behind that die cut. Now I did want to show you one tip. When I'm going through my fidget by fidget process, or just trying to come up with the designs 9 times out of 10, but I will take some tweezers and I'll add those to the bottom of those die cuts because I've already removed the double-sided tape. But I do this on purpose so that I can kind of hold that away from the design, but yet still look at where I want it to go and then just easily place them down on the card panel. And in this case, that rectangular piece. Next, here we go again with the twine, my favorite thing to do. I'm kidding. I struggle with that messy look. So what I've done here is I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow underneath this sentiment strip and attach it that way. Now all we have left to do is add our mint die cut that has dimension behind it. Oh, and add our sentiment, which also has some dimension behind it as well, and finish this off. I think it turned out great. What do you think? Now let's take a look at card number 2. This is our first alternate card. and this is mostly working with paper scraps. These strips actually came from the pre-designed card bases that came in the kit. The kit actually comes with 9 card bases, 3 for each of the 3 designs. What we'll do is we'll cut them to be 4 by 5 1/4. So now that leaves those little strips. Well, we're going to craft those little strips and use them in this design. I grabbed one of my pre-made ephemera sentiments and a piece of black cardstock too. Would be a nice contrast to the herb die cuts and the thanks friend sentiment that I picked out. I like to split them up when they're this busy. So I turned this card base over, and on the back side, in order to get the diagonal strip that I'm looking for, I needed to mark this up so I'd know where to put my trimmer. So on one side, I'll go down 1 inch, and on the other side, I'll go down 1.5 inches. Then I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. In hindsight, I could have made this a little easier. Now, as soon as I finish with this, I'll line it up in my trimmer. Now I lined it up from the top at the 1.5 inch side, and on the bottom I moved it over so that it lines up with that pencil mark, and then I'll just cut it straight down. Let me show you. Next, I grabbed a 4 by 5 1/4 inch card panel. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm building the panel. I'll add double-sided tape to the black cardstock and attach it to the card panel right in the middle. Then we'll add the 2 slanted green leafy background pieces and place them on the top and bottom of our panel. Next, I added some dimension to the leftover card strips. I used single strips of dimension, placed them on the back, and then added a bit of glue to the back also. I added a single strip to the back of the sentiment, "Thanks, friend," also. Now let's add some double-sided tape to the back of the 2 die-cut pieces. I believe these are chives and basil, and then we'll grab our pickup tool and add some sparkly, pretty and pink embellishments and a light green enamel dot onto the end of those herbs, and this card is done. Now this card is something I don't always do. It's getting out of my comfort zone, and basically it is taking different types of colors and mixing them up. I grabbed some neutral colors and mixed them with some bright colors from the 2024 and 2025 group called In Colors. So you see colors like pecan pie and crumb cake, as well as on this card color combo, Petunia Pop and Pretty in Pink. Again, I needed another card as a thank you for a friend card, so I thought, why not try something different? Now I'm pretty sure I want that die cut to be a bit smaller, so I'll quickly fussy cut it out. When I say friend card, I also wanted to let you know that these are club members that I've been crafting with for 7 years. And they're more than club members to me. If you're new to this lovely hobby called crafting, I have truly found that this community is so incredibly supportive, and I feel like the friendships that you make are friends for life, not just for one evening a month. So I feel comfortable making these hello or thank you friend cards for each of them. So back to the card. My card base is Petunia Pop. cardstock. I'll use 2 of the die cuts from the kit. If you watched my last video, you know I always create extra frames in different colors when I first get my die cuts. This frame is from the Storybook Friends Stamp and Die Bundle set. So I decided that inside that frame I wanted a little bit more of the Petunia Pop or Pretty in Pink color. I used the Petunia Pop to actually do this because I wanted more of a Pretty in Pink color. Here's what I did. I took a smaller stamp that came with the kit that looks kind of like doodling vertical lines, I think. I practiced stamping off not 1, 2, but 3 times to get that lighter color. Worked out great. It added some texture, but still let the frame and die cut show up well as the main focal point. Then I take my brush and I go around it lightly to kind of, again, enhance that color. I did one lighter and one darker, and that way I can decide which one that I want to actually use. So now I'll just cut it down. I believe it was 2 by 2 1/4 to put behind that frame. Now the frame has some slots in it, which is perfect to add that twine. We'll go ahead and do that and put a small bow on the side. To secure that bow, we'll add just a small piece of double-sided tape. Then we'll also add a little bit of glue to the bow also. Now I had already put the dimensionals on that frame and decided, oh no, I kind of need a little bit more dimensionals behind that. Now while that's drying, we'll add those paper strips to the back so that it's level and we can attach it to the card. Now we'll finish up the card by adding some double-sided tape behind that die cut. Then we'll also add our sentiment, hello, and a cut down version of that crumb cake die cut. I wanted that added so that I could add in some swirly embellishments. I felt like that would stand out more than adding them to the leafy background. Whew! I know that was a lot. So here are the cards that I've made today. I'll have more. They'll be in another video, or they'll be in an all-inclusive video once I've finished all the cards. Stay tuned, more videos to come, and I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you could subscribe, like, and share my video, I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, have a great day.